Imagine you're on the train to work on a rainy Tuesday morning, holding your coffee, and you finally decide to log into your super account. You see a number. Maybe it's $30,000, maybe $40,000. And you realise that because of a single default box ticked by an employer 5 years ago, you are currently on track to lose over $200,000 by the time you retire. Now, a quick reminder that this is general education, not personal financial advice. I'm not telling you this to send you into a panic spiral before you've even reached the office, because fixing this takes exactly 90 seconds, and you can literally do it tonight from your couch. Ever open your banking app, see the number, and just close it again? Yeah, me too. Once. It's the standard reaction for anyone in their 20s or 30s when it comes to superannuation. It feels like locked away monopoly money that we aren't allowed to touch until we are grey, so we just ignore it. Welcome to Get Sorted AU. Tonight, we are fixing that. The Australian super system is brilliant, but it is buried under a mountain of jargon designed to make you feel like you need a finance degree to understand it. You don't. When you are 30 years old, your super is doing one of two things. It is either quietly building a fortress for your future, or it is slowly suffocating under the weight of default settings. Let's look at the math that nobody shows you. Meet Jess and Dave. They are both 30 years old. They both earn a $75,000 salary, and they both currently have $38,000 sitting in their super. When Dave got his job, he filled out his onboarding paperwork, gave them his super details, and never looked at it again. Because he didn't make a choice, his super fund put him in their default option, usually called a balanced fund. Balanced sounds incredibly responsible, doesn't it? It sounds safe. But in the finance world, for a 30-year-old, balanced is a trap. It means the fund is investing a massive chunk of Dave's money into very safe, low-growth assets like cash and bonds. When you are 60 and about to retire, safe is good. When you are 30 and have 35 years for your money to compound, safe is incredibly expensive. Now look at Jess. Jess logs into her app tonight. She spends 90 seconds untangling the jargon and changes her investment option from balanced to high growth or indexed shares. This tells her fund to put her money into the stock market. Yes, it will bounce up and down more over the short term, but Jess is 30. She can't touch this money for over 3 decades anyway. She doesn't care about short-term bounces. She cares about the power of compound growth over 35 years. If Dave's balanced fund averages a 6% return over the next 35 years, and he keeps earning his standard salary with the employer guarantee, he will retire at 65 with around $580,000. Not bad. But Jess's high growth fund averages just 2% more, let's say 8%, because it's fully invested in shares. Over 35 years, that tiny 2% difference means Jess retires with over $860,000. Read that number again. Nearly $300,000 more. They earned the same salary. They paid the exact same amount into super. The only difference is that Jess spent 90 seconds on her couch at age 30 tapping a button on her phone, while Dave assumed the system would just take care of him. That is what I mean when I say your super is quietly deciding your future. It is the largest pile of cash you will ever own outside of a house. And right now, it might be sitting in the financial equivalent of a savings account, losing out to inflation. There is one more thing you need to check tonight: fees. If you are in a retail fund with high administrative fees or paying for built-in life insurance policies you didn't even know you had, those fees are quietly eating the roots of your compound interest tree. When you log in tonight, look for 2 things. What is your investment option? And are your total fees under 1%? If you're paying 1.5% or 2% in fees, they are robbing your future self of tens of thousands of dollars. So here is your homework for tonight. When you get home, before you open Netflix, open your super app. It is your money. You worked for every single dollar of it. Step 1. Find out what your current balance is. Step 2. Find the tab that says investment options or how my money is invested. Step 3. Ask yourself if the setting matches your age. If you are 25, 30, or 35, you have decades to ride out the market. You don't have to be a finance expert to win at this. You just have to stop ignoring it. Once you make this single change, you can close the app, go back to your life, and let the math do the heavy lifting for the next 30 years. You're not behind. You just need to get your system right. Make sure you subscribe and let's get sorted.